So Heather, at the break, we had to sort of we were up against the break here, and we didn't have time to really fully go into the malpractice. I mean, I think some of this is frankly attributable to the Democrats not embracing even and I think frankly Bernie Sanders does a good job of this. He embraces the Affordable Care Act, but goes much further than it. The Democrats, broadly speaking, I understand that some of them don't want to, or some of them feel they can't, but they could at the very least embrace the Affordable Care Act and then go a little bit further. And they've been so reluctant to do that for an extended period of time. They're doing it a little bit more, but they need to do it more aggressively now, because one of the other things in that CBO report was, there was a couple of things. One was that the Affordable Care Act is not imploding. The Democrats need to be out there now doing this heavy lifting of explaining that, because the press isn't certainly going to bring it up. They certainly haven't brought up the fact that the Republicans have a replacement and repeal plan. It's the 2015 thing that they passed already. And then, I should say, before I want to get your response to the Democrats' failure there, I want to say two more things. One is, in the CBO plan, it showed that this Republican bill actually strengthens Social Security, saves $3.3 billion. The reason why it does is because their health plan will literally mean there are tens of thousands less retirees, because they will die before they get to that age. I mean, if you can't make hay of this as a Democratic politician, I saw Brett Baer ask Paul Ryan, if you think this CBO report is good, what would a bad report look like? I say to Democratic, yes, I say to Democratic politicians, if you can't spin this into gold, what can you? And it's incredibly frustrating, it seems to me. But my question to you is, in addition to all this I've laid out there, is it possible that Paul Ryan more or less predicted it was going to go this way, because he realized, we can't have a bill that's going to pass. We've been talking out of our rears for 7 years, and let's just get past this, and hopefully our super fans, those people, those Tea Party guys who went and protested all that, in a way, they'll just forget about it. I mean, how could someone be this clueless as Paul Ryan appears to be, unless the agenda was we got no good options here, let's just get this over with?
Well, I wish I could go along with that and think that this was some kind of a clever Paul Ryan plan, but honest to God, I don't. I think that they, they're like the dogs who caught the car. They have been chasing this thing from the, Obamacare. It became this totem, this symbol of everything they hated about the Democrats and President Obama in particular. It didn't have any real substance anymore. It was just this, it was kind of a, they've had these things, like tort reform. People don't know what it means, but they scream when somebody says it. And I think that that's sort of where this ended up. And Ryan just simply, they won. And I think he honestly was completely unprepared, because I don't think they had tried to prepare. And when it happened, I think they, like Trump, in a lot of ways, realized it was a lot more complicated than anybody thought. And so they came out with this thing. I mean, I'm not willing to grant that Ryan is that smart to have actually thought through the idea that, we'll put out a plan that will fail, and then somehow, by 2017, we'll get Trump to do this with Tom Price, and they'll, do work requirements, and then after that, then we'll blame the Democrats, and then we'll win in 2018. I don't think that's the plan at all. I think this is all just kind of exploding around them. That, the GOP, let's remember, they were already going crazy before Trump was elected. They were already at a point of peak incompetence and, insanity and zealotry. And now they have all the power, and this is what you see when you have a party at this kind of, peak level of incompetence meet peak level of power. This is what we're watching.
But the the flip side of that is, for all their incompetence, they are running our government for all intents and purposes on every level, and I'm including, the vast majority of states in that calculation. I mean, so
this is why I don't sleep at night, Sam.
I mean, it really is pretty stunning, and it is going to be pretty stunning if the Republicans somehow manage to get past this without any major accountability from their own voters, because, I mean, we're seeing that they're not paying a price. I mean, the idea that any reporter could take Paul Ryan with a straight face anymore after this debacle, and any reporter could not preface every talk about this like with, it just shows how craven and really just disingenuous the Republicans were to their own voters. I'm not even, aside from my disagreement ideologically, like they really, they really hoodwinked their own supporters on this, oversold. If they're not held to account by those voters, I don't think that they could say that there's anything they couldn't get away with. Because, I don't know what's left after Obamacare. They seem to have basically been able to walk away from Benghazi without anybody, that seems to have fallen off a cliff. Apparently they don't want to get to the bottom of that anymore. But we're going to take a break. We'll come back in the next hour. We got a lot more news to talk about. My name is Sam Seder. This is Ring of Fire Radio. I am talking to Heather Parton, who will join us again in the next hour. But stick around. We've got some more Ring of Fire Radio to do.